In such a big journey, was there any incident or any boss or anything that you would never do it to your team?
Yeah, I've also learned some not to do things.
Yes.
I used to work with a boss a decade back. There was a very uncomfortable incident that happened. It was a Sunday, I was at home and suddenly he called and he was like, I want all the team here. That time I realized that I will never treat people as a professional body and a personal body. Like I don't think, or at least I can't remove my shoe outside my house and go inside and become a different person.
Yes.
I think your work impacts your confidence. The less you are conscious about yourself, the better it is for everyone.
You don't shape the company or the company doesn't shape you alone. It has to be a two-way process.
Correct, yeah. Yeah, the pressure is always there. I mean, pressure is good. Which means there is expectations. I read it somewhere that when there is pressure on you, it means someone is expecting you to do something.
Right.
If nobody is expecting you anything from you, then there won't be pressure.
Are you late to AI? Are you early? And how will you handle it from here?
I don't think Zoho is late to AI,
Yeah.
but the pace at which things are happening outside makes everybody feel like they are late.
Hi, Bharath.
Hello, Ifshita.
How are you?
All good, all good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, and I must tell you, this location is outstanding. I was studying about it. I think ICC Sydney is a phenomenal area here in the South Ocean, and I think throughout the year it's going to host some amazing minds this year.
Yeah.
And this is a place which was built exactly for hosting ideas, where ideas change hands, where ideas are made, where leaders set the ideas for the next set to continue. So thank you so much.
Oh,
for
it's
making this
our
happen.
pleasure. So we are doing our user conference, Zoholix user conference for Australia here.
Yes,
So,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
we are
I'm so
happy.
excited. So going back to the audience, I would love to introduce you. It's been 8 years. My guest here I know him for the last 8 years. We worked through when marketing was not what it is today. We started from lead generation executive to sales guys to AI agents today.
Yeah.
Hope that we hope, I don't know how we use it, but yeah. So that's how it is. And we have crossed so many journeys together. And within that, I have always seen Bharath's, he has been creating something very quietly, but very deliberately. I can see that. And when he started with one product so many years back, today you manage the entire Zoho Developers Suite, which is the 3 most powerful tools that any enterprise can ask for: RPA, Flow, and Creator.
Yeah.
That's a silent killer.
And Catalyst, another powerful tool as well. Yeah.
When I see your journey, you were not a marketing person who emerged just as a marketing person working in the PNGs of the world, but you started as an engineer. That's my core too. I still recruit people who are MBAs with an engineering degree.
Yeah.
So having said that, you knew exactly what you're building when you were an engineer at Infosys. I think then you moved into microfinance industry, where you're serving customers who have not a penny to spare.
Correct.
Then the third, I think you moved to telecom, which is explosive.
Correct.
Huge market, scale, motion, speed. And you have to learn to make sense of that unit cost.
Correct.
And the conversation should make an impact.
Correct.
Then I think your journey moved to Ramco Systems. But before that, Tiny Up.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So creativity and consumers teach us the creativity no B2B can teach us.
Correct.
So that's the edge where you went into, right in front of advertising people and the real world, you and me.
Yeah.
And then finally, of course, Ramco. And then 7 years in Zoho. The entire concept, if you remember, when we did a pre-run, is that you don't shape the company or the company doesn't shape you alone. It has to be a two-way process.
Correct. Yeah.
You leave some of your dust there and they leave some of your dust.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you in person, how has the journey from so many roles impacted what you're doing today?
Yeah, I personally believe all of it all these experiences had a part in shaping where I am today. And in every place I learned something good, maybe something that I shouldn't do as well. For example, microfinance that we touched upon. We are talking about 2010-11 where it was at the boom. And I was a fresh graduate out of my MBA institute. And one day I would be sitting with the Kevin Cares and the Coca-Colas and talking about their rural marketing plans and the support that they need. On the next day, I'll be sitting in some place that is 500 kilometers away from Chennai, where you don't even have a train or a flight connectivity, sitting with the rural women who are borrowing 5,000 rupees, 7,000 rupees that they pay over a 10-month duration. That sort of gave me a very if I have to pick one thing that I learned from there is that balance, that anything can pass. Yeah. So understand that
best of
what you have in hand. Yeah. Because I have to recognize the privilege that I got, and the opportunities that I got, being at the right place at the right time, all of that. So I never should that ego start to like, oh, okay, you're doing well, or you're doing this and all that. Places like microfinance, where you're rubbing shoulders with the rural women who are more motivated and more inspirational to me personally. When you meet people like that when you're 25, I think that shapes your thought process throughout your career.
That was amazing. Now coming to Zoho, it's a unique organization in its own way. I mean, as unique as it can get. They're bootstrapped by choice. Yeah. And the way they nurture students and undergraduates towards the journey. Does the pressure still feel it's bootstrapped outwards? But internally, when you're there, how is it? How is it working inside Zoho?
Yeah, the pressure is always there. I mean, pressure is good, which means there is expectations. I read it somewhere that when there is pressure on you, it means someone is expecting you to do something.
Right.
If nobody is expecting you anything from you, then there won't be pressure on you. So pressure is good. But I think pressure for the right reasons is good, in the sense that, like you rightly mentioned, Zoho chose to be bootstrapped. And in the current age where there is a lot of, let's say, layoff happening under the pretext of AI or due to AI, Zoho has publicly announced that there will never be a layoff. We will look at increasing productivity, obviously, because of the market pressure. There are other, like infrastructure cost has risen exponentially now, because every, like from AI organizations to SaaS players, and so many of us want those infrastructure tools and support. So there is pressure on margins and pressure on revenue and profit. But how Zoho is approaching it, because we are bootstrapped and we are not answerable to external stakeholders, it's more, okay, what do we do better? How do we increase efficiency? How do we connect things? How do we make things more efficient?
I take it, and it's a wonderful pressure to have. That sounds nice. While you started with one product and then moved to so many products. We were there initially when you were doing that, but tell me something. How does marketing one product versus a suite of products? How does the GTM, how does your planning, how does your strategy, execution all change?
Yeah. See, again, going back to the basics, this one product to a few products happened primarily because of the market need. For example, I started with this product called Creator, which is a low-code way to build apps. But naturally, when people build apps, they want to connect to other apps in their ecosystem. Since we had Zoho Flow, which is a connection, integration, powerful engine, made sense to naturally club these two together. And it is predominantly a customer-facing, an engineering, a product decision that happened that, hey, when we build something, let's also empower users to integrate. When that engineering cohesion happened, when things were coming together from that point of view, then naturally go-to-market teams, like marketing partners, things that I handle also had to come under one umbrella. From a direction point of view, I think, let's say from even today, I'm much more comfortable if you ask me to demo any aspect of Creator, talk about Creator. But let's say some of the other tools that I am also like little, like I understand the tools, but maybe not as much involved in customer conversations, etc. That's where the team's help comes. I have an amazing team that leads some of these tools themselves, and I bring more of copy pasting of ideas and processes across these tools. From a customer point of view, then the experience becomes unified. Whether let's say how an email from a Zoho Creator sounds versus an email from a Zoho RPA sounds, what are the type of events that are run, how the experience is. So from all those aspects, I think this unified approach is bringing a sense of consistency and ease for the users. Obviously, again, it is engineering first, the product experience, how things connect easily. So that helps.
Your designation says the same, right? You are not only the head of marketing, but you're head of marketing and customer experience.
Correct. Yeah. That's a conscious choice that I took. It's not like Zoho gave a designation like that. But I realized that for me to go and have an honest conversation with the customer and put their needs first, I should look at customer experience first.
Product-led growth. This is customer-led growth.
Yeah, definitely. In a way, we are not Zoho is not a heavy sales and marketing machine. So it is obviously product-led growth. It is the more than 30% of our revenue comes through this internal cross-sell. So that the shift from a product mindset to a suite mindset helped in those things also. How do we cross-sell to our customers? How do we connect these apps and make the experience easier? That is what I learned in the transition aspect of things.
While you were talking about this, I know we discussed earlier also that most of your market is abroad, is US rather than India.
Yeah.
That, and plus Unite now, like you set up in Sydney and Australia and more beyond that. So tell me again, when we talked about how you manage so many products at your marketing seat, similarly, what changes and what remains same when you're going to multiple markets?
We'll start with the other point that you mentioned first, the customer, keeping the customer first, right? So yesterday we had a customer dinner and Vijay Sundaram, a respected leader in Zoho, like the chief strategy officer, he started his talk by saying, "Thank you, customers. We are alive because of you." So when such a senior leader
can say
looks at customers like that, who are we to even have any ego in that sense? But coming back to the other aspect, Ishita, that is a very important and an interesting learning for me also. That's a good question, because markets operate at different levels of maturity. Not to say some market is more mature, some market is less mature, but the demands, the ecosystem, for example, US and SFO, Silicon Valley, things that are happening is pushing the tech ahead much faster than some of the other markets. So let's say the term low code that we use, or if I want to call Flow the integration platform, how we brand it, how we package it for markets has to change. Our message, our homepage, our brochure cannot be the same for all the markets. Those are the learning. Like for Australia, what is the problem that is prevalent here? And how do I package my product, which will send a message that, hey, I solved this problem for you.
Yes. And every market is so different in the way they adopt, right?
Correct.
The way they want to interact. That's an interesting talk. A detailed talk we can do, how different markets behave differently. Maybe we can co-author something.
So for Zoho, US is the predominant market even today. But markets like India and Middle East are growing at a much faster
and
pace.
What about the market that we're talking about? And we're right here.
APAC are also good. Even New Zealand, we are seeing good adoption here, customer adoption and growth.
Software very easily, right? Because they are mostly either manufacturing or agriculture centric, and they mostly outsource everything. So,
not everywhere, but it's a mix of we have customers from retail, we have FMCG customers, we have logistics customers here. So it's a mix. But I think the larger trend that you spoke about is correct, because in some markets like US where the adoption is a little ahead because of early
adapters, all of them.
Exactly. Here it is more a purpose driven adoption. Like, okay, this is where I am, this is the maturity at which I am. Do I need to go the agents way, or do I need to go like simple AI tools way, or do we need to start from the basics?
When we talk about AI, just an honest question, are you late to AI? Are you early? And how will you handle it from here going on?
I don't think Zoho is late to AI, but the pace at which things are happening outside makes everybody feel like they are late. It's like a FOMO. I'm sure any vendor today will be like, oh, okay, what is happening? Who is doing what? Where am I? So in that sense, nobody feels like I am early to the party. What we are doing differently is, since ours is a very business B2B focus, context focused thing. We are not building a cloud, or we are not competing with the general purpose LLM, right? Ours is a very specific. My user will ask me, how do I do this better in a CRM? How do I do this better with the Zoho books? Hence, we are looking at small language models, medium language models, narrow language models, and not like large language models are talking about trillions of parameters for training. We are not looking at those things. So ours is a very focused, context specific things that we are rolling out to our customers. I think we are seeing, like, even today at this user conference, we see a lot of interest towards those AI agents and ZI agents and those capabilities. If we do that well, I think that it is not about did we do this first. I think if in our context, if we do this really well, I think that will hugely benefit our customers.
And coming down to our functions, marketing as a function, GTM as what we are developing, the pipelines we make. Do you see a direct use? Where are you using it today? Just for a note of fellow marketers here.
See, definitely, I mean, all of us use, including me personally, we use a lot of AI tools. Starting with something like a Claude as like a mentor or like a buddy with you chat and ask it to critique things. So that's the easiest starting point. Specific tools, for example, video editing software, motion graphic software, creative tools, content review assistants, building internal agents to review content. So we have specific use case. I think obviously Zoho has empowered us to pick the right tools. As, let's say, someone who's leading this team, what I'm looking at is, what is the problem we are solving with the tool? It's not like, oh, let's try this tool just because it's the fancy new shining tool. But there are definitely areas in which we have seen a lot of value add. Like, for example, a simple marketer language use cases. We used to do videos earlier, and then to make it into shorts and then do it in YouTube shorts used to be a 3-4 day project. Now there are tools that pick the right places in the video and tells that, hey, these looks like these are nice shots, opportunity, and then in a matter of hours you are getting 4-5 shots that our social team uploads.
Going back to when we started the entire concept of moving towards tilting towards leadership or co-learning.
Yeah.
Is that, tell me something that it's been 7 years that you've been with Zoho. What is it, one thing that you have influenced your products, your e-system, and something that Zoho has given back to you and which has stayed with you throughout, even in your personal self,
Yeah. Zoho doesn't believe in credentials.
Yeah.
We have almost, let's say, 20% of our employees who have not done a degree, who have not done graduation and things like that. That breaking or asking that fundamental question, that is credential that important?
Yeah.
Is the question of where you studied your MBA or where you studied your EG degree that important? It's not like I was biased, but I never thought about it.
Right.
It was a default, hey, I'm Bharath, I studied here. Hey, you're so, where did you study? Was like a default way of understanding, okay, this is where this person is, this is where he has studied, this is background and all that. But Zoho broke that for me. Now, like in hiring, we don't look at do you have a fancy degree or things like that. Not because Zoho tells me not to do it. I personally believe in it. I have some fantastic team members who have varied experiences. As long as the intent is there, maybe that's more pronounced for marketing. If you have common sense and the right drive to do the right things, then these credentials and those things don't matter. So that is something I have learned. A lot of such things. I think
see it across functions and across.
Yes. Because I rub shoulders with senior leaders who studied at Zoho schools, and so things like that, which clearly tells me that this is not a theoretical idea. In reality, we are seeing people doing excellently well. So don't look at credentials, is something that I learned. What I have given back is slightly a tough question. I think I'm a slightly process-oriented thinking person. So what I have done is, when something goes well in a product, I'm able to make it a process and tell, hey, can we do it as a standard operating procedure across the different teams and things like that. At Zoho, we are business unit focused. So we have like a sales BU that has products like CRM, desk and things, a finance BU that has books, expense. So I belong to the developer business unit BU. So I have been running some internal conversations and things like that to knowledge share between different BUs and things like that also, which I think is a value add from my side.
You have gone through so many organizations. Leaders are made because they learn from their failures, because they learn or choose to keep some cultures that they've learned, and they choose to leave some cultures too, right? I'll ask you the good and the bad both. In such a big journey, was there any incident or any boss or anything that you would never do it to your team?
When we started the conversation, I said, I've learned from these companies. On marketing, obviously, I've become a marketer where I will understand the offering or the product, understand the customer need and connect. So it doesn't matter whether it's microfinance or telecom or SaaS or ERP. So that is the good thing. In the process, I've also learned some not to do things. So I used to work with a boss a decade back, there was a very uncomfortable incident that happened. It was a Sunday, I was at home and suddenly he called and he was like, I want all the team here because of something transactional. It's not a strategic or it's not like there is a customer issue or anything like that. But it's a very trivial thing, but something that he wanted to impress his boss. And so he was like, let's do it today and all that. And I was in a family and some things were happening. So that time I realized that I will never treat people as a professional body and a personal body. Like I don't think, or at least I can't remove my shoe outside my house and go inside and become a different person. I think your work impacts your confidence, how you think about yourself, how you carry yourself with your friends. Yes, you can put a mask and have a different personality, but I think
it won't be genuine.
It
won't be scalable. It won't remain.
So how I crystallized that, or what I understood from the whole episode, is the more or the less you are conscious about yourself, the better it is for everyone. So at workplace, in this conversation, if I'm thinking, is my suit proper, is my shoe okay, is the coffee cup seen, then I'm not focusing on what I'm telling. My mind is wavering through other things, right? Same at workplace. If someone is thinking, is this person okay with me? Is this okay? Can I come late? Can I go early? Will I be judged? I realized that I will not demarcate like that. I would ensure that my teams, the people I work with, are comfortable with whoever they are. Then they will bring their individuality, they will bring their best in whatever. Like for a team to win, definitely we need a Virat Kohli. but we can't have a 11 Virat Kohli team.
True.
Each one is different and they bring their uniqueness and idiosyncrasies, which is something that I learned during that time, that okay, we should let people be so that they're not worried about being judged who they are. Then naturally work will happen. You give the right direction.
I'll take this chapter from your book to mine. It's wonderful. On same lines, something a mentor gave you and you still swear by it and you use it on a day-to-day and it stays with you.
One person I deeply respect in my career journey is Mr. Vikas Singh. He used to be the CEO of Airtel Kerala Tamil Nadu. We had a rapport of like, okay, this guy does good work and so on, but nothing more after that. I moved on, I went to a couple of other companies, and then while at Zoho, I realized that I'm handling a team, because till then I handled a 2 people, 3 people team, and here it was like a 7, 8 people team and all that. So I was going through some confusion on what is the right way to handle it, and I wanted an external perspective. So I called him and like, this is what I am going through, and he analyzed what my situation and clearly said something. It's okay, try to be respected, but don't try to be popular. So, okay, the problem that you are trying to solve, what is running in your mind, yes, you have to do the right thing, get the respect by doing the right thing, but don't try to arrive at a solution thinking that that will make you popular. That was a huge, in a simple one line, a deep message for me. Yeah, then I was like, okay, why am I thinking so much about this?
Right.
Is it because this is not good for the business? Or is it because that team member will not like me? Or is it because that will create some problem? I think if I connect the previous point in this, when we are having a culture in the team where you can be yourself, and when something is not okay and you can express that, then I think that is taken right. Like, okay, the person doesn't want bad for me, is not saying with any ulterior objective. He is supporting me, but at the same time, if something goes wrong, he's going to tell me at my face. Is something that I learned with Mr. Vikas Singh.
And the same people are mentors in the past. When they have something good to say to us and even bless us with their good wishes, it means a lot throughout, I feel the same. I feel the same. Oh, wonderful. I want to ask you 2 fun questions. 7 years from now, where is Zoho Suite? And where is Bharath?
I'll start with Zoho Suite. There is so much more we have to do. Today, in our presentations, in my presentation, we are talking about roadmap, the capabilities and all that. With AI, with the way tech is changing, tech is going to become more and more important. It is not an optional, it is not an optional thing anyway already. But now, irrespective of whether you're a startup, you're a medium business, you're a large enterprise, whether you're a technical person, you're a non-technical person, I think everybody will have tech as a part of their organizational journey. So tech players like us will have a more important aspect to play. Obviously, if we execute well, for example, some of the fundamentals of Zoho is the focus on privacy, the focus on the customer experience, the suite that brings everything together. I don't think there are very few players who have the breadth of what we have, starting from an email suite, an accounting solution, a CRM, a low-code platform like a Creator. So the width is already there. Now it's the depth and connecting these tools and the user experience. So is there a to-do list for the next 7 years? Definitely yes. So taking what is happening in the market, bringing these things together, focusing on certain tools to make them sharper. So that itself is going to keep us going for years to come. Where will Bharath be? That's a tough question. But I always look at roles as a part of the larger direction or a vision, that let's say our CEO or let's say our founding team and all that, they are trying to solve a problem. They want to make technology accessible and available for everyone. That's a larger umbrella at which, let's say, Zoho is operating. That problem is broken down into multiple functions, BUs, let's say, a finance function, a sales function, a developer function. And in that, I am solving one smaller part of that problem. So I report to a respected leader, Haider. So he handles multiple things. And in that, I am solving the partner relations and the marketing things for. So what I aspire to do is can I solve more problems? Can I solve bigger problems for Zoho? And in the process, obviously, selfishly, learn, grow. It will translate to other things. I think I always believe money is a lagging indicator. Like the more you do, obviously the money will follow. That is important as well, but that is what I aspire to do. Marketing itself, like you rightly mentioned, is going through a lot of change. So my role definition could still be, let's say, marketing, GTM, whatever, but what I do could be very different from what I am doing today.
What is the approach you follow? Like you said, you have institutionalized a lot of SOPs and processes. So what is one framework that you have built?
I have a simple approach or a framework called 3M principle. My team would be bored of hearing this. I look at any marketing requirement in three perspectives or three areas: the market, the message, and the medium.
Yes.
It starts with who's your customer? What are you solving for them? Why is he or she going to pay money for you?
Right.
What is the whole business model? What problem are you solving? So that market, it could be a region specific thing, it could be an industry specific thing.
Yes.
So clarity on my ideal customer profile, that is the first starting point. So I understand that, okay, this is my ideal customer, this is what I'm going to sell or go to communicate. Now the second important aspect is message.
Yeah.
That is, I think, the most important function of a marketer. I know that I have something that I can sell to Ipshita. I want to market to Ipshita.
Right.
But what do I tell her? How do I make her realize the value?
Right.
How do I make her believe that I am better than my competition?
Right.
Why should she buy this today and not 5 years later or 5 months later?
Right.
So that message is very important, because that is what becomes your brand positioning. So if I can package a tool, I can package a phone as a security focused phone, privacy focused phone, or feature rich or a camera rich, you can choose that, because you know that your audience is looking for a camera capability phone, then you package it like that.
Yes.
But if you make a mistake in that, then changing their positioning will take a long time. So that message. Third and final is the medium. I know Ipshita wants a phone. I am going to tell her privacy focused phone and she will buy it. But where do I meet Ipshita? What does she do? She reads maybe a Wall Street Journal or Economic Times. Maybe she attends events. Maybe she travels in a flight. All of that become marketing opportunities for me. So I will advertise in an Economic Times or a Wall Street Journal. I will put branding messages in an airport. So that clarity of understanding the audience, what is their behavior. If they go to a movie, by all means, put an advertising use an avenue in a movie or in a golf course, in a cricket club, whatever it is. So that understanding, obviously considering the cost and the unit economics, and converting that as a marketing avenue, I think that is the final step.
The last part is back to the audience. Now, let's say our audience is segmented into one, fellow marketers.
Okay.
Second is the young generation, which is coming up, who will follow our roles, do much more with tech maybe. And the third is the ecosystem itself. I know you are a whole product suite, you can do everything on your own, but you still need an ecosystem, maybe colleges, schools, maybe other vendors, maybe other ecosystem partners. One thing that they should each of them do from you to them.
To fellow marketers, I will say something very controversial. One of the primary reasons in some places marketers are not respected is marketers. I think.
Oh my God, yes.
I mean, I love marketing. I wanted to be a marketer, and sometimes if I am in that phase, I tell that marketing is my calling. So I mean, take it as with this background that I am one of us, and I'm saying this. I think sometimes we go behind fancy things, fancy execution, things that make us look popular and not respected. So tools will change, the ecosystem will change, the expectations will change. But as long as we can add value to business I think we are a function that is as close to product and the market as possible. Because all the functions play a different role. A product team will understand the market, a sales will understand the market, but we can be neutral in really defining that, hey, this is the roadmap that the product should have. This is how I should communicate my amazing capabilities in my product to the market. So I think that will always be an expectation from marketers, and this role is always going to remain. We may do it the manual way, we may do it the outbound way, we may do it the AI way. But still that intelligence has to be a part of us. So in a nutshell, if we can keep the focus on that, what is the job that I am doing for my organization, what is the value add that I am doing, then I think naturally we will be relevant and we will continue to prosper. For younger folks, I have a 12-year-old son, so sometimes I think, what should I tell him 5 years, 4 years later when he wants to decide his career path and things like that? I don't have an answer. But only thing is, I would request everybody to stay curious. There is so much happening. So each one will have, my son says he wants to become a marine biologist or something like that. So I don't know if it is even possible or what are the options for that. But as long as he stays curious to that, or anybody watching this, like if something excites you, something you're passionate about, and you stay curious, you understand more and more and more about it. I think we should all have, my personal belief is a T-shaped expertise, a broader understanding of a lot of things, a deeper understanding of a couple of things. So the deeper understanding will come only if you're curious. The broader understanding of, let's say, how an economy works, how countries work, how relationships work, all of that, you need that broader thought process. So stay curious, and AI tools make this much more easier. You can ask an AI tool to be a reviewer, a mentor, and coach, and push you. So stay curious. Then naturally,
and we as leaders or parents or grooming partners or bosses, I think we should allow them that space.
Exactly. Yeah.
And still let them intrigue.
Correct. Yeah. And last, ecosystem. I think by ecosystem, I also, one important aspect of our ecosystem is our partners.
Yes.
Currently, approximately, let's say Zoho is doing, let's say, a 30%, approximately, I'm not giving the exact number, of our revenue through partners. We are looking at flipping the funnel and doing 70% through partners. So that ecosystem is going to be very important. And any tool, like while the Zoho has that breadth of all these suits, integration and connecting with other partners is a very important aspect of our execution as well. So I think at the end of the day, if our partners, if this ecosystem can work together to, instead of looking at taking a share of the pie, if we are looking at increasing the pie, then I think all of us will prosper.
Thank you so much for all the inputs. I loved it.
Thank you, Shita. It's always a pleasure working with the QLB team.